That was my hero. I'm playing music that I'm learning the language of, and they believed in me and they dug my feel. I was never going to fill the shoes of Billy Cobham. He was my hero, and at the time, he was the greatest drummer, in my opinion, in the world. But the thing about music is if you're able to contribute and communicate, and they like, we feel you, you're communicating. And that stuck with me throughout my career, because at the end of the day, it's not how many chops you have, it's can you communicate with little or much. If you look at a B.B. King, B.B. King's not all over the fretboard, but he has things that he does, and he can hit one note and you go, ah. Miles used to just play through the changes, crazy through the changes, and then more toward the end of his career, and I'm not talking about ending, I'm talking about when he got more off into groove-based music, where it was more 2 and 4 based, and it was more had more rock and R&B influences. He didn't play as many notes. It wasn't that he couldn't, it's just that he was changing in terms of how he was looking at what was appropriate for the music. The music was always on top. So I didn't get into a fear thing from let me take something to enhance my ability to block out the fact that this is an amazing thing going on. If I got busy and I just allowed myself to communicate, that did it for me. I tell you what, though, it's interesting that weed now is legal in so many places. Just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, it is. And what's also interesting, I mean, you consider Billy to be the best, but his drum kit was unusually large. Was it all necessary?
Absolutely. I remember, here's how my first connection with Billy Cobham. I went to Cincinnati. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I went to Cincinnati, which is Cincinnati's a good hour and a half, something like that, from Dayton. And if you're just kind of having a good time, we're going to a concert, right? I'm going to see Frank Zappa. I'm going to see Mothers of Invention. And the great Curtis Mayfield is on the bill. And I'm like, yo, that's a crazy bill. I love all of this. And so I didn't know there was an opening act. So the opening act was called Mahavishnu Orchestra. Now, me and the homies, we're like, okay, Mahavishnu Orchestra, what is that? I don't see chairs on the stage. I don't know if we get ready to do orchestra. What the heck is in Mahavishnu? What is that? And so, being the homies, we looking around and we see, I was like, this is a huge drum set on the stage, and it was fiberglass. And so it was clear, and it had a huge gong behind it. And I'm like, what kind of orchestra is this? I'd never seen a drum set that big. I'm 16 years old, 72. Yo. And all of a sudden, these dudes come out and they're in white linen, double neck guitar, John McLaughlin, white linen. And then the drummer has on a Jersey college football jersey. Now I'm like, well, maybe the orchestra people are just going to walk out on the stage. Anyway, long story short, they kicked in a song that I didn't know at the time called Meeting of the Spirits, off of the Intermining Flame album, which I knew nothing about at the time either. and they changed my life. Right then and there, I was so blown away. I enjoyed everything I heard after that because Curtis Mayfield is the mighty Curtis Mayfield. But I knew what was going to happen with that. Frank Zappa, his wittiness and his ability to just be so into what he's doing and not be afraid, I was ready for that too. But Mahavishnu Orchestra, never seen a drum set that big, never heard anybody play like that. All these odd time signatures in this very spiritual mode. Man, we left up out of there. I was completely mesmerized. Went and got the album, My Vishnu Orchestra. And from that record, that's what got me into Miles. That's what got me into Bird. That's what got me into Monk. I looked back because they completely blew me away. And I've never come back. I went somewhere and I've never returned. That's how amazing that was for me. So I know what music can do because I'm serious. When I say I've never come back, I have never returned from when I saw Mahavishnu Orchestra and realized, man, you can do anything out here. You can, because that was just transforming. Of course, then I got into Miles and then I got into Coltrane. Then it was just, oh my God.